My name's Laura O'Connor. I'm CFMA's Director of Membership, and I want to thank you all for joining us for our CFMA Member Benefit Series featuring Corpay. With us today from the Membership Department, we also have Kathy Wasner. She's Vice President, Member Services. Kathy, you want to wave?
Hi, everybody.
So for those of you that don't know, Corpay is a longtime partner of CFMA since 2010 and has provided a lot of support for our chapters through our relationship. In this session today, we will learn more about the CFMA Corpay Affinity Program with electronic payments by looking at the latest construction payment trends, technology, and business acumen to ultimately make payments not just less of a nuisance, but a true competitive asset. Now I'd like to turn it over to Grant Cowles, Director of Construction for Corpay, to begin the presentation. Grant?
Hey, everybody. Appreciate you taking a little bit of your lunchtime, maybe late afternoon time. We promise to keep this nice and sweet and let you get back to your day jobs. But hopefully this is going to be a time to kick up your feet on your desk, maybe grab that afternoon coffee and sit back. And best of all, we have some Starbucks gift cards to give out. So I hope you guys are ready to win a few gift cards we're going to give out. So really quick today, again, it's going to be light. Nothing too heavy here. Talk about who we are, our partnership with CFMA, and ultimately what that means to you as a contractor, but also very relevantly, you as a CFMA chapter member, and what that means to your local chapter. So quick question, first poll, and Laura, if you want to cue it up so people can respond, but which of these organizations are you familiar with? And there's definitely a gimme there. Hopefully everyone gets at least one of these correct. Go ahead and select.
I can't do it now.
If you are familiar.
Can you do it, Laura? You need me, Laura, to do it? Oh, Zoom has a weird thing. If we're both logged into the same account, Laura was able to launch it, but apparently I have to close it. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Can everybody see the results?
Wow, you guys are in the right spot because everybody knows about CFMA. We didn't have any interlopers sneak in here, so that's a good sign. And it sounds like a lot of you are familiar with Comdata, or about half of you with Comdata or the word invoice pay, and 3/4 with Corpay. And that's awesome. Thanks for giving that. So here, and by the way, everybody who participated, there's a 1 in about 20 of you chance of winning a Starbucks gift card. We have a few more to give out. So I'm going to close that now. You actually now know all 4 of those. You obviously knew about CFMA, but you now know about Comdata, Invoice Pay, and Corpay. We've been in the construction payments industry since 1969. Comdata is our legacy brand, doing fuel cards, corporate cards, even payroll cards for over 50 years now. Invoice Pay is a sister company of ours that's been doing accounts payable automation. We even have these other brands. Some of you, if you're involved with some more international things or some particular other solution lines, you might be experienced with them. But in 2022, we rebranded. So now under the Corpay umbrella. So what do? We actually are a payments company. And even though only 50% or 75% have heard of us, we actually are the #1 largest MasterCard issuer in North America. People are surprised, like, how could this be? Well, we only serve commercial clients. So we're not really doing Super Bowl ads. We don't have billboards out there. But within the commercial B2B space, we're the #1 provider of MasterCards, bigger than any of the banks. A little bit about our construction specialty. We serve every industry, but construction is our #1 core industry we serve. We know how important construction-oriented solutions are, and we've bent over backwards to make our stuff both built for contractors and seamless. That includes integrations with ERP partners, but especially CFMA is our favorite type of affiliation. So here's another next poll. Does anyone have a guess how many CFMA contractors use Corpay solutions? And we're giving you some buckets here because it won't let us pick an actual number. But go ahead and make a guess. How many contractors that we service also are members of CFMA? That's what we're asking you.
All right, we will end the poll, and here we are.
Hey, spread pretty broadly across the board. If you guessed in the 600 to 700 category, you are correct. At last count, we serve 615 CFMA members. So we'll collect those of you, that 21% that were in that bucket, and we'll pick one of y'all to grab a Starbucks gift card. We'll send it to you digitally. But we serve, so we've been a long-time partner of CFMA, and it makes a heck of a lot of sense for us because we are servicing construction financial leaders. Provide financial products, so CFMA is a perfect partnership for us, and we've really sought to be not just someone that is a leech and following around the CFMA circuit, but to actually be a help and to grow the organization. So that's meant over the years, we've contributed over $1 million to local chapters. Something we're very proud of, that we've invested in these local chapters and have seen them grow before our eyes. And we love to see the growth of CFMA. We got a lot of regional directors out there, including myself. I'm near the Southwest area, but we got folks all across the country. Hopefully you're seeing them pop up at your local chapter meetings. And we really are trying to be, as much as we can, an active supporter. So we know the growth of CFMA is something that is good for the industry and honestly is a great way for us to talk to the right people that we're trying to serve. So let's jump into CFMA benefits. Why are you here? You want to learn about something that might benefit you or that you didn't know about. So first, we're going to talk about, to understand the benefits, we're going to talk about what we do. And then this will talk about how the direct correlation of what you guys can benefit and your chapter. So we do we think of it in two sets. We do corporate cards, so credit cards, fuel cards, those types of physical pieces of plastic that you're buying stuff with. We have a cool app that goes along with it. And then we also have accounts payable solutions, so paying invoices. We have two different flavors of that. The key I'm going to highlight for you right there, cash back monthly. All of our services are giving you as a contractor cash monthly. That means practically all of these are free or very low cost, and you are going to generate revenue. So in short, what's the biggest benefit to you as a contractor? You get money, and free money at that. But that's also where the local chapter member benefits come in as well. So this is something where we've structured with CFMA a while ago, and it's been a beautiful relationship and something that it hasn't just done well, but we're really proud of because we think this benefits you all as local chapters and the chapter and CFMA as an organization itself. So we provide credit card solutions, and that can be either physical, as you saw, or it can be virtual through an accounts payable setting. And whenever a credit card transaction happens, we are paying the contractor a rebate, typically about 100 basis points, but we're paying them cash monthly based on the transaction size. What's extra cool though, is we are also paying the local CFMA chapter a rebate as well. This is not something special. This is every CFMA contractor of ours. We are also directly supporting this local CFMA chapter. So the contractor's rebate is larger. It's typically about 100 basis points, but we give the local chapter 1.5 or more likely 2 basis points as long as they signed up through the CFMA referral portal. It may sound like a little or a lot, but I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But it's important to note, and we get this question a lot, is like, hey, okay, I love that you're giving us a rebate, and I love that you're giving CFMA a rebate, but contractors want to make sure this isn't coming out of my stuff, is it? No, this is a bonus. We are giving you the full rebate, that you guys qualify for, and we're also giving a bonus rebate to the local CFMA chapter. So basis points. What the heck is a basis point? You might be asking. If you're not in this world, you might not be familiar. It's 1/1000th of the amount. Otherwise, no. It's an easier way to talk about percentages. But 100 basis points is equal to 1%. So again, 100 basis points. You can also insert 1%. So here we have a couple different examples of what it might look like out in the wild. If a contractor uses our fuel card and buys $50 of fuel, you as the contractor are getting 50 cents. The local CFMA chapter gets 1 cent. If you do a $1,000 Home Depot purchase, you as the local contractor are getting $10, and the local CFMA chapter gets 20 cents. If you do a $5,000 Hilti purchase, and that's probably going to be in paying for an invoice out of accounts payable using our solutions, you're going to get $50 cash back, and the local CFMA chapter is going to get $1. So this is kind of, in visual display. Obviously, you have larger transactions. Everybody gets more money as well. And those pennies, maybe that doesn't, blow your socks off, that 1 penny, 20 cents, $1 for the local chapter, it adds up. and it adds up, really effectively. Because we're doing this for all of our contractors, all 650 of them and growing, this was added up to over $115,000 of local CFMA support last year. $115,000. Again, something we're really proud of, something that we've seen, we believe is in the best interest of everybody here. And so win-win-win. Some of y'all might be asking, you're just giving out money, Corpay? Like, man, you guys must be rich, or you must be extra generous, or that's a really terrible business model. How does this happen? So I thought it might be useful to explain what's going on here. Again, nothing that we provide, it doesn't cost you money as the contractor. So where does the money come from? Well, we provide corporate credit card solutions, and that's, again, as physical or virtual. Anytime a credit card happens, the merchant pays a credit card interchange fee. So this applies if you go to Starbucks, if you go to your local restaurant, if you're buying something from Walmart, if you buy a hotel or an airline. And it also applies if you're buying a corporate card, if you're buying fuel, or you're paying for an invoice with credit card, or you're buying from Hilti. All those vendors, all those merchants are going to pay a credit card fee. And it can vary. It's honestly a lot greater on both sides than what you see there is 1.4 to 2.8%, but probably 98% of transactions fall into that range, which is the credit card interchange range. Of that fee, MasterCard keeps a chunk, a couple other people keep a chunk, we keep a chunk, and that is from that collection, or that bucket is how we're able to pay you, Mr. Contractor, 1% and pay CFMA 2 basis points. So that's the economic wheel here. We're not creating something out of nothing. It's not too good to be true, and we're not that generous, although we are pretty generous. But that's where the money comes from. So here's a question for everybody here, for you personally. Everyone's familiar with credit cards probably at this point. So just wanted to get a little feel for the group. What types of rewards do you all collect with your credit cards? And you can think of these as airline miles, hotel points. Maybe you have credit card points like, Chase points or Citi thank you points. Maybe you get cash back, or is there some other type of reward that you're getting? And you can pick multiple if you get multiple types as well.
All right, results are still coming in. Few more seconds. All right, here we go.
All right, so most people are getting credit card points. Second most is cash back. Third most is airline miles. We've got some hotel points, and some people even get some other types of points or other types of rewards. So this is good to think about it effectively what we're doing at the corporate level. We give cash back, so it's not a points game. We're giving you cold hard cash, and we think that's the best model for a company that's for a contractor. That's a fungible use, and you can really efficiently utilize those cash however you want. So if again, taking it very elementary when people ask what we do, and if they're not within the corporate world perhaps, or the construction world, what I tell my grandma is like, hey, we provide credit cards, for contractors with a lot of cool features added on. And what's extra cool about it is our solutions don't cost anything, and we pay them. Just like you get points for hotel miles or credit card points, we're paying our contractors and hopefully adding a whole lot of other value for how our credit cards work and how our accounts payable solutions work. Here's a common question. I talked earlier about accounts payable, paying accounts payable with a credit card. Probably in 2022, as you guys are CFMA members, you're probably familiar with this, but it's probably useful that maybe you aren't familiar with this concept and to take a step back. You may recall anytime a merchant or a vendor accepts a credit card, they pay that, let's call it 2% on average fee. Why the heck would a credit card, would a merchant pay 2% fee to accept the payment? Well, there's actually a lot of good reasons they would. For one, vastly accounts receivable process. So a lot of these merchants that they are swimming in checks being mailed to them. They have a whole team of people in a back office somewhere ripping open checks, scanning them, depositing them, applying that payment towards like their open invoices, hoping, it's legible, hoping it didn't get stained or caught in the mail, hoping it even gets there, period. So dealing with checks or dealing even with ACH and applying those payments correctly can be a really pain in the butt for accounts receivable departments. So we have a lot of our clients have pretty significant accounts receivable offices themselves. One interesting conversation I heard just a couple of weeks ago was for a company that has a ton of accounts receivable invoices. And they talk about how pretty regularly they get checks that will say one number on the written portion, but then will have the actual digits written in the little box as something different. So it might say 1,000, but they might spell out 100. Causes havoc with their check reader, because now you have this mismatch of what is read on the check versus what is actually deposited through their banking system. So little things like that can cause huge headaches for accounts receivable. With a credit card, especially a virtual credit card through a program like ours, it's completely automated. We include a little attachment with all of our credit card payments for the big vendors, and most of the big vendors today are utilizing this, that allows them to essentially double click that thing, or even no click. Their email inbox automatically reads it and it applies that payment. It runs the credit card and applies it towards all those open invoices. So 2%, for that sort of advantage, that starts to be, that starts to be a good trade-off for a lot of these vendors. Also, it's faster. Waiting for a check, that can be serious money for a lot of people, or if checks don't come at all. Also, a credit card, they can run that immediately. So if you want to pay them right now at 1:19 my time, they'll be able to run that credit card 1 minute later. So they're not waiting for mail, waiting for ACHs to be sent through the Notch network. It's guaranteed payment. They're not going to deal with bounce checks or lost checks, and increases sales. A lot of these merchants out there understand that by accepting credit card, it actually encourages folks to pay them. Bad debt is a serious issue that all merchants and vendors deal with. I hope CFMA doesn't have any bad debt, but I think I've been late a couple times and get the notices from Kathy and team like, hey, your membership's been overdue. Come on, time to pay up. And it makes it a heck of a lot easier for me to pay with a credit card than if I had to pull out a check or wire an ACH or something. So increases sales and increases the likelihood that people are going to pay those invoices. It prevents fraud and mistakes. When you pay with a credit card, both sides are protected by the MasterCard network, both from any fraud that might happen. And it's also a very secure network. No one on either side is having to call the other and be like, all right, what's that banking data again? Or wait, what's your check email or check address these days? Wait, did you guys move offices? It's both parties can have instantaneous opportunity to pay each other, or to pay or receive payment, regardless of what else is going on in the world, and no one has to pick up the phone for either side. We include full detailed remittance information with all of our credit card payments. There's also this general notion that credit card or merchants that accept credit card from one person, they accept from all. So there's just this blanket rule that a lot of these merchants have already decided, hey, we're going to accept it as a general practice. So come one, come all. It's part of the MasterCard requirements, is you got to accept from everybody. So if a contractor down the street's paying them, you, Mr. Contractor across town, can also pay them. And finally, it's always important to remember, again, we have this conversation a lot about the economics of a credit card in the accounts payable setting. That's 2%, is that fair? Is that right? Is that cheap? Is that expensive? Well, it's also in context of what are your other options? Checks and ACH, two most other common options, those have significant costs. Maybe it's not a 2% hard fee, but it's a lot. It's probably adds up to 2% in form of labor and time and fraud and possible troubleshooting. So for all those reasons above, that's typically why vendors accept. It's not going to be for subcontractor payments. Typically, it's not going to be for $1 million payments, but it's a credit card and AP setting is really, really good. In fact, probably the most efficient payment method by far for those $100, $500, even $1,000 invoices that you're sending out. So finally, we just want to turn to making sure you guys, your local chapters, getting your credit that's due. A lot of y'all on here are probably leaders of your local chapter. So we want to make sure that, we know we have about 3,000 contractors in total. We know 615 of them are part of CFMA. And don't worry, Kathy, we're working on the other 2,400 to get them involved. But we also know that we might be overlooking something. Someone signs up, they never tell us, maybe the local chapter isn't getting their credit that's due. If you think that might be happening to either you or your chapter leader and you want to find out, or another contractor that's part of your chapter that's not maybe getting the credit they're due, email, as you see there, caleb.jenkins@corpay.com. Include the name of the contractor, the local CFMA chapter, and it's really helpful if you can include the account code, and we'll double check that local chapter is getting those 2 basis points for all of that contractor's spend. And for new Corpay contractors, if you're signing up tomorrow, please remind your sales rep, or you remind us as we're getting set up, hey, by the way, I'm a local chapter, or I'm a member of CFMA. And that way we just remember to trigger it in our system so that Kathy gets her money and can give it then to you. So one takeaway, if you want to spread this opportunity for free cash for you guys as contractors, and especially free cash for your local CFMA members, the best way to do it is let people know about it, just word of mouth or at your local meetings, and remind them to use the link you see here. This makes sure this is essentially a referral link that if they sign up or inquire for more information and eventually sign up through that link, CFMA gets the local chapter gets a 33% bonus in how much we're going to pay them for just being a referral. To be clear, they still get paid out, local chapter, even if it's not a referral. That's just an affiliate sponsorship that we love to do, but you can get that bonus if they fill it out through that form.
And real quick, let me add, Grant,
yeah,
that link is on our website. If you're logged in, it's under member benefits, and then cost savings programs, and Corpay is the top one. So you can click, there's a click here link over there as well. So if you forget where it is or forget what the link is, it's under member benefits, cost savings programs.
Member benefits, cost saving programs. Awesome. So we know that every CFMA contractor, you all use credit cards and fuel cards, and a lot of you do use accounts payable virtual credit cards, or maybe are interested in that. So we would love to talk with you and love to be able to provide you this solution, which beyond the actual cash back, there's a whole lot of other reasons we think our solution is really fantastic, but that's obviously a great one. And the reason we're all here today, it also benefits CFMA. So I got one last slide. Especially if you're a chapter leader, we can send this to you, but it might be useful if you want to, include in your local meetings just to get the word out about how your local chapter can generate some revenue based on stuff you're already doing or things that are probably going to help you anyway by utilizing this Corpay CFMA affiliate partnership. So with that, that was all I got planned for today. And wanted to, we have a couple minutes. If folks have questions, I think you can take yourselves off mute and holler at us, or you can type it in the chat. If no one has a question, that is a really big compliment. That means I covered absolutely everything great.
Sorry, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Okay, so I got to apologize. I came in late to this.
No problem.
So if you covered this, I apologize. I'll try to keep it to this one question. Do you guys integrate with softwares? I guess that's probably the part that you talked about at the beginning that I missed.
Yes. Yeah. Great question, James. So we can work with anything, homegrown systems, whatever, what have you. We absolutely can work with anything. We do have special, like pre-built integrations or even official partnerships with these ERPs that you see on the left here.
Okay.
But even if it's not on, even if it's not on the list, we absolutely can work. It just maybe isn't, a pre-built integration, or there's a few things to do.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Great question.
There's a couple questions in the chat. Corporate cards, routing for approval or cost coding?
Yes, so we absolutely. So if I go down to here, we have an app that attaches to our credit card. It's called Expense Track. So you can use the credit card independently, but a lot of our contractors use the app as well. And the app will allow your credit card transaction to allow you to capture that receipt, code it using your chart of accounts coding, which we actually integrate or sync with most of the leading construction ERPs, and then route that thing for approval. It's a pretty cool solution. We'd love to touch base offline if you want to learn more about that, but that is absolutely a feature of ours.
Another question, if we're currently using Comdata Corpay, can we still receive credit for our local CFMA chapter?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that's definitely a takeaway. So I'm gonna go on to the one right here. So every single Comdata Invoice Pay or Corpay user that's a current client, the local chapter either already is or should be receiving that local benefit. If you're not sure, send an email to Caleb Jenkins. You can also reach out to me as well, and we'll make sure that that's already happening. But that's a forever and for always. It's not a one-time thing. You don't have to be a new client. This is for all clients. We've been doing this for many, many years.
And if you don't have that contact information handy, feel free to send it to Kathy or I, and we will get it over to them for you.
Yes, we know Caleb well. We email Caleb all the time. We know his contact information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Grant.
Yeah.
Another question for you. You know, I get emails all the time and things in the mail of similar companies. What distinguishes your company from the myriad of other companies I'm getting hit up with?
Yes, great question, James. Yeah, we know it's a popular time to be working in the corporate payment space. There's a lot of other folks doing this. So I'll answer this in two parts. First is our construction specialty. So as mentioned, we have the pre-bill integrations with almost every ERP. Folks like myself, we know contractors, we know the specific needs that you all have. So we understand the need, like the special things that are required by contractors. And second is our technology, just the straight product features. We know a piece of plastic that works as a credit card sounds kind of boring and dumb, and what could possibly be different? Actually a whole heck of a lot when you really boiled it down. So whether it's corporate cards, whether it's the expense management solution, and especially once you move into the accounts payable setting, there's a lot of dynamic features that need to be considered. Supplier experience, approval processes, how can you limit these, from fraud, or how can you limit your card holders to do or not do certain things? Is things in real time? Do you have pin and odometer prompting for fueling? And the list goes on, and that's why we have a very successful company, is because we've been able to really specialize in this space. So that's in a nutshell. Would love to give you the 15 or 30-minute pitch about what makes us different, but in a nutshell, it's really our specialty on construction, and our technology itself is pretty unique within this world.
Great.
All right, so I got everybody that was here. I think we can collect this, and we know everybody that sent a polling question. So some of you will be getting an email from me here shortly with your Starbucks gift card, and we appreciate you all taking a little bit time to listen to us. And yeah, please do reach out to Kathy, Laura, and myself with any questions about anything you're hearing today, or just generally questions whatsoever.
Great, thank you.
So
right.
Grant, thank you so much for joining us today for the presentation. I know I've heard you speak before, and I had some takeaways, so it's great to hear you speak again. And I want to thank you all for joining us for the presentation today. Our next session of the CFMA Member Benefit Series will be held on December 8th and will feature CFMA's Cost Member Savings Program. So I hope you'll join us for that. Registration information will be coming soon. Again, if you need to reach out to anyone and you can't remember our email, you can always email membership@cfma.org, and it will come to us and we can forward to the appropriate person. So thank you all and have a wonderful day.